Hello friends. So what I am going to start today is another topic in techniques of costing, that is standard costing. One of the very interesting techniques, something which has to be learned from very depth and will be starting from basics and going on to depth. Today is a conceptual lecture. On this very first lecture of standard costing, I take you through the meaning of standard costing, which is also known as variance analysis topic. I'll take you through why the topic is so important, not only from exam angle, but from an accountant angle, from the point of view of one accountant, how the variance analysis play a very major role. Then I'll discuss a specific approach that we'll be using in this chapter, known as model steps approach. I'll talk to you about all the basics of that approach, and then we reach one odd category of variances in that. In all, there are 6 categories. So in various lectures, we'll be covering specific categories. So many concept lectures will come in between every topic. In every lecture, there are some questions and some concept. So I can't say there is one concept lecture and others are question lectures. Not like that. Not like the budgetary control. It is different. All the base will be created today, which will help you in full understanding of the topic. So what I'm starting here with standard costing. Another name of this topic is analysis of variances. Now, I want to relate 2 topics. The 2 topics are budgetary control that you have done earlier and standard costing. Now, this budgetary control and standard costing are closely related to each other. Budgetary control was about planning. Standard costing is about control. In the subject of management, you are told planning and control are closely interrelated. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So planning is very important. But unless there is a control, the planning will not be meaningful. Planning will not be useful. If there is no planning, there cannot be a control. And if there is no control, there is no use of planning. If I'm making budget and nobody checks whether anybody has lived up to expectations of budget or not, then nobody will consider budget in actual working of the entity. So if there is no control, nobody is going to respect the plans that you have created. This is the importance of standard costing. Standard costing gives you control. Under standard costing, we are involved in computing actuals and comparing them with budgets. And if there are differences, positive or negative, they are reported to the management. If the differences are negligible or caused by uncontrollable reasons, then you can't do anything. If the differences are material and under controllable category, then appropriate actions will be taken by top management. The actions do not necessarily mean removing the employee from the job. Not like that. It may be to provide training to the employee who could not achieve the targets. If somebody overachieves, give them promotion, give them incentives, give them some prizes. So unless you are making computation of what we call variances, you will not be able to do the things like this. Positive, negative, all kinds of variances are to be considered by management. So it is role of accountant to compute actuals, compare them with budgets, get variances and present it to the management for further action. This is the process of variance analysis, which is covered under this chapter of standard costing. I've tried to elaborate in very simple terms how standard costing is useful to the entity. Compute actual, compare with budgets. If there were no budgets, comparison not possible, standard costing cannot be applied. So budget is primary thing, planning is primary thing, then only control comes into picture. Compute actuals, compare with budgets, compute variances, present it to the management by writing whether it is favorable or unfavorable. Further, they have to check whether it was controllable or uncontrollable. For example, there was recent crisis all over the world. COVID-19. The disease was there. So obviously lots of negative variances will come. The business could not work as much as they would have expected in the month of March, April and little more even. So budgets, when they were created, they never thought of such a situation. So budgets were this much, actual was this much. Difference is variance. But the variance was uncontrollable. Nobody could control it. It is world over, it was happening. Not only in India, in all parts of the world. USA was worst affected. Italy, Spain, all countries were affected. So you can't help that decline in business. Uncontrollable variance. You can't take an adverse action against the employees or otherwise. You can't provide any training to improve that adverse variance. When the things will settle down, obviously they will come at a normal level of activity. So revised budget should be compared with actuals instead of comparing the original budget. So this is what we are going to do under this standard costing. Little bit writing we can do, then we reach the real practical part there. Now what is standard costing? Little bit you can write. It is technique to study variance analysis for various aspects of the business. It can even be for non-profit organization. The budgetary control standard costing can be applied there also. It helps to check whether budgets are being achieved or not. So broadly we are checking whether the budgets that we have created, they are being achieved or not, or are getting overachieved. So accordingly the action is to be taken. Broad steps. Prepare budget. We have done all budgetary control, functional budgets, For every function, we created a budget. Targets were there for each and every department. Prepare the budget. Number 2, compute actuals. Number 3, compare actuals with budgets to find variances favorable as well as adverse. Adverse are also called unfavorable. Further analyze controllability of variances before finalizing action for each variance presented to management. So you are first going to compare actual with budgets, find variances favorable, unfavorable, and then before you recommend action for the top management, you have to put the controllability part, whether it was controllable or uncontrollable. If uncontrollable, you should not take much action. If it was controllable, find the reason and find the appropriate person who was responsible for that variance and teach him, or if he was well taught and still it was negligence, you may shift into other department or even maybe remove him. So you have to find the things. These are broad steps under standard costing or analysis of variances. Now what we are going to follow in this? Model steps approach. Broadly, there are two approaches in computation of variances. Both are well recognized by our institute also. One is formula approach, where you are taught a formula for each category of variance here and there. So there are around 25 to 30 formulas that you have to mug up. The second one is model steps approach. That is what we are going to follow. Our endeavor will be first to understand each category and its steps. In all, there are going to be 6 categories of variances. Sales value, sales margin, material cost, labor cost, variable overhead, fixed overhead. 6 categories. On an average, every category will carry 4 steps. Now students start calculating. CS students, they are very calculative. They start calculating. Sir said 6 categories, 4 steps each, 24 steps. And 1 table under each category. 6 tables. They say, sir, 30 things to remember here. Under formula, there are around 25 to 30 formulas. Here I am saying 6 category, 4 step each, 24 steps and 6 tables, 30. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. You don't have to mug up 24 steps, not at all. They are all steps in categories similar to each other. Variable overhead, fixed overhead steps are similar. Sale value, sale margin steps are similar. Material, labor, further there is some similarity there also. So broadly you are understanding 4 or 5 steps and 6 tables. Lesser learning required there, and they are all logical. Now students keep on asking, sir, what is the meaning of this variance? in very first lecture or second lecture. I keep on saying, you do as I direct you. I've been teaching this for 20 years, don't worry. Do as I direct you. First thing is to start computing the variances correctly. First thing is to remember the steps in the sequence I'll be telling you and the table. Every lecture, whenever I cover one category, concept lecture, you will have around 4 steps and 1 table. You have to learn only this much. In the last lecture of standard costing, I'll be giving you interpretation of all these variances. Last lecture of standard costing is interpretation of variances. There you will get to know why I call this variance as this. What is the meaning of this variance? Why I call it price variance? Why I call it volume variance? Why I call it mix variance? What is the interpretation of that? You will get a separate lecture, last lecture there, which is called interpretation lecture. But till that point of time, don't run behind why it is called this variance. Simple is, I am teaching you what to do in starting lectures, in all concept lectures. In last lecture, you will get to know why it is so. In CA course, why is always very important. But first thing is what. Understand what to do. Why to do will surely come, but at a later stage, in the last session of standard costing. So be with me as I teach you, do it like that. Do all questions like that. Understand intricacy of each and every step instead of running behind whys in the beginning. Starting lectures are all learning lectures. Learn. Along with that, do questions, means practice a lot. Having done the practice, then you reach the level when you have to interpret the variances. Interpretation, do they ask you in the exam? Till date in CA intermediate level they have not asked. Long ago, in CA final exam, they gave all the variances and simply wrote one word under that, interpret. So everybody who knew how to calculate could not do anything because they had to only interpret in that exam. So focus on this one. Now be with me to understand the different categories. Total, what are the steps that we are going to study? Number 1 category, which we will be doing today itself, sale value variances. Steps involved there, SV1 to SV4. From sale value, the word is SV. Sale value variances, SV1 to SV4. Second category, sale margin variances. Sale margin variances. We are having is SM1 to SM4. Number 3, material cost variances. The steps are again 4, M1 to M4. Number 4, labor cost variances, L1 to L5. Note carefully, there is an extra step. From L1, it is going to L5. Number 5, variable overhead cost variances, VO1 to VO3. You can note here there is one lesser step here. Variable overhead is up to 3. Last category, fixed overhead cost variances. FO1 to FO5. Again an extra step, up to FO5 it is going to go. So 3 different categories where there are not 4 steps are these 3. Average is 4. I'll say average is 4. Sale value 4, sale margin 4, material cost 4, labor 5, fixed overhead 5, variable overhead 3. These are the 6 categories that we have to study. Now, all steps are broadly starting from actual and going till standard or budgeted. Maximum possible standardization. In case of sale value, sale margin, it is busted. So, common thing I am telling you in this approach, these are broad characteristics. First step is fully actual. Then little bit of standardization comes in. Some more standardization. And once you reach last step, this is maximum possible standardization, standard or budgeted. I can give you a hint there. Standard in case of cost categories, busted in case of sale categories. So first 2 categories, sale value and sale margin, you will be reaching last step budgeted. In other 4 categories, last step will be standard. Now the question arises, what is the difference between standard and budgeted? If you can recall, we did that under flexible budgets. I'll repeat it here. I'll repeat the concept here. Just observe. This is standard versus budgeted. I am talking primarily with respect to cost. Take similar example as I took in flexible budget analysis. I plan 10,000 units and material cost that I plan 1 lakh. This is actual. I created 9,000 units. My actual material cost is rupees 97,000. My question is this good or bad? That is a question. When actual material cost is this 97,000 against budgeted 1 lakh, is this saving of 3,000 or lost 7,000? Think about. Try to put an answer in your mind. Has the company saved 3,000, planning 1 lakh, spent 97,000, or they overspent something like 7,000? Now, this is correct answer. This is wrong. There is no saving of 3,000. Never compare 1 lakh rupees with 97,000 because same units were not produced. You planned 10,000, produced only 9,000. Otherwise, what will happen? They will produce a single unit with 90,000 cost. Every unit, because it is a variable cost, material cost, every unit should be spending 10 rupees. So, they should have spent 10 into 9,000, 90,000 rupees. They should have spent 90,000 rupees. And they have actually spent what? They have actually spent 97,000. So they have lost 7,000. This is correct. Correct answer is this. What is the terminology? Very important. Terms. Budgeted cost is rupees 1 lakh. Original budget 1 lakh. Actual cost 97,000. Standard cost 90,000. We should only compare budgeted with nothing. We should only compare actual with standard, not with busted cost. So that I can get variance 7,000 negative. I can't call 3,000 positive variance. Because I produced less units, I should have spent less cost. 90,000 compared with 97,000. These terms are very, very important. In each cost category, last step is standard and not busted. In sale, however, standard goes up to busted. That we will study separately. Remember, per unit budgeted equal per unit standard. They are same. In my example, 10 per unit. Per unit busted and per unit standard, they are same. Total busted, total standard, they are not same. Sometimes budgeted total equal standard total. When does that happen? When busted units and actual units are same. When actual and busted units are same, then busted cost and standard cost in total will also be same. But otherwise, always in every question, per unit busted and per unit standard are always same. That is a small concept to remember. Now further in model steps approach, as I told you, there will be first step actual, second step small standard, third step more standard, fourth step, if it is last step, maximum standard. The standardization is improving. So in sale category, my variance will be SV1 minus SV2, SV2 minus SV3, etc. As I say, in direct accounting. And cost category, it will be M2 minus M1, M3 minus M2, etc. And now if positive answer, favorable, negative answer, adverse. This is a feature you can recall. If you don't want to recall, it's okay. In every category, just remember the variance formula that I'll be telling you, the variance M2 minus M1. Remember it like that. But there's a logic behind everything. No approach is without logic. How do I get same answer as in the formula approach? Logics are same, that's why you are getting same answer. So it is simple. If actual step is higher than standard step, in case of sale, it will be favorable variance. In case of cost, it will be adverse variance. So I'm simply making the things in such a manner that when you do, you get positive, favorable, you get negative, unfavorable. I'm making it in that category. Forget it today. Don't worry. I'm just giving you basics. If you're understanding, okay, otherwise this much, you can ignore today. Today we'll be dealing with only one category, that is sale value variances. So concentrate on that category. After you've done 1-2 questions of that category, you will find it very, very simple to follow. The same questions will ask you margin category also, but that will be not doing today. That will be doing in the next lecture later on. As of today, you are doing only sale value variances category. Let us reach there. Sale value variances. What you must recall is step headers that I'll be giving you. Daily basis, you have to put 30 minutes effort with me. On all conceptual days, daily 30 minutes effort. What do you do in that effort? Remember 4-5 steps that I do, header of that and the table, nothing else. Nothing else. Questions I am doing here itself. You can do questions along with me, but must do this 30-minute learning exercise. Sale value variances. I get first step, SV1. Actual value of sales realized. Actual value of sales realized. It is actual sale. How do you compute actual sale? Actual sale is computed as actual sales quantity multiplied by actual selling price per unit. You may be selling 10 products. For each product, actual sale quantity into actual selling price per unit. One is in kgs, 100 kgs into 2 per kg. Second one is in liters, 1000 liter into 3 per liter. Whatever is the rate and quantity, multiply and then add, aggregate. For the company, you will get actual value of sales realized. SV2. SV2. First step was totally actual. I have done that. In second step, some standardization is to be added. That is, price gets standardized. And once it gets standardized, in all next steps, it will be standard. So what I am getting? Standard value of actual sales quantity. Standard value of actual sales quantity. How do I get this? Sigma of actual sales quantity remains same multiplied by standard selling price per unit. Remember, when it is per unit, even busted selling price per unit is same as standard selling price per unit. So busted or standard selling price per unit given, multiply with actual sale quantity for each product, then aggregate. Once you aggregate, you get SV2. Now SV3 is important. There is something to learn in SV3. If you can get that correctly, you will solve so many problems in next category of variances also. SV3, standard value of actual sales quantity if it were in standard proportion. If it were in standard proportion. So same step language is there, but I have added some more words if it were in standard proportion. So I am writing there. Write everything here because this will be very useful later on. This step applies only when the entity has multiple products following sub-steps can be followed. Now, sub-steps are not tough thing. They are being created to make it easy for you. Otherwise, there is no need to learn sub-step. Once you do one or two questions, you will not like to read even the sub-steps. But for easy understanding, I am giving you first time the sub-steps. Sub-step 1. Compute total actual sales quantity. For all products, you calculate total actual sale quantity. Second, find the ratio of standard sale mix quantity. That is the ratio of budgeted sale quantities of each product. So look at budget. Each quantity will be there for each product. Make a ratio of that. That is standard sale mix quantity. Put 1:2 ratio to get standard quantity of each product. Actual sale quantity put in the busted sale quantity ratio. Instead of standard, you can use word budgeted here to avoid confusions. So put actual quantity in busted sale quantity ratio. You get standard quantity. Number 4. standard quantity multiplied by standard selling price per unit, sigma, aggregate it, you will get SV3. First step, everything actual. Second step, price standard. Third step, price is already standard. Total quantity is actual, but ratio is also standard. That is something to practice little bit. That will become very easy once you do one or two questions. SV4, very simple. Budgeted sales value. Everything at planning level. Budgeted sales quantity multiplied by standard selling price per unit, sigma of this. This becomes budgeted sales value. First step, totally actual. Second step, rate is standard. Third step, ratio is also standard. Fourth step, everything is at budgeted level. This makes 4 steps. Is the question complete? No. We have to do one table also. All this green marked headers you must remember. Calculation you can easily do. Sub steps not to remember. Once you do one or two question, you will not require the sub steps. In steps, the green marked headers you must remember. Now comes table of variances. Table of variances. On the top, sales value, or I can say total sales value variance. SV1 minus SV4. Extreme steps in all categories, in all 6 categories, this will happen. First and last step, difference between them. If it is cost category, reverse counting. If it is sale category, direct counting. If you get positive, favorable. If you get negative, unfavorable. Now, it is classified into 2. Sales value price variance, SV1 minus SV2. On right hand side, sales value volume variance. This is SV2 minus SV4. Now mathematically, if you add these two, certainly what you will get, if you add them, this SV2 will cross, you will get SV1 minus SV4. That is simple mathematical exercise, nothing else. Volume variance is further subdivided. Sales value mix variance, and this is SV2 minus SV3. And last thing, sales value quantity variance. This is SV3 minus SV4. Any variance, if you get positive, is favorable. If you get negative, it is unfavorable. This is the table that you have to remember along with steps. Let me tell you one thing. On first day, they might look little tough because you are doing it first time. My experience says, if a person likes this chapter, he likes it very much. He says in the exam, the question was easily done within 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you start disliking it, you will not like it at all. It is unlike other chapters like overheads. Overheads, everybody says is little challenging. It is not challenging if you do it the way I am telling you. Do it every day, 30 minutes. Spend it on learning the steps, learning the table. Maybe writing the steps on your own and then checking from the copy where you have noted. Once they are on tips, questions can be easily solved. Later on, you will be getting interpretation also. The questions come in mind. Sir, why we call it volume? Why we call it quantity? How is quantity different from volume? All questions will be answered once you reach lecture of interpretation of variances. Till that point of time, just computation. What to do is more important. So remember these. Believe on me. If you do it the way I am telling, you will find it very, very easy to do. What I am doing today quickly is first question. Only one question we are doing today on sale value variances. So looking at your assignment, what we are doing is question A category. A1 is what we are doing. Now the question does ask you the variances based on profit also. They are margin variances. They will be done later on. So A1 will be done again under margin category. So here I am doing question A1, sales value variances. I can call it A part. So what I need to calculate? I need to calculate SV1, SV2, SV3, SV4. How many products are there? Only 2 products, A and B. So it makes things or calculations easier. So I will concentrate on those calculations. I will write always the header for sure. You can always keep on writing header so that you can keep on remembering that. So I start with SV1 actual value of sales realized. What I have to do? Actual quantity into actual price. Actual quantity multiplied by actual selling price. This is 600 into 4, 2400. This is for A. For B, 750 into 8. $6,000, aggregate 8,400. So 8,400 rupees is SV1. SV2. Standard value of actual sales quantity. Standard value of actual sales quantity. Actual quantity multiplied by standard selling price per unit. A and B are there. Actual quantity remains same, 600 and 750. Multiplied by standard selling price, 6 and 5. 3600, 750 into 5, 3750. This is 7350. 7350. This is SV2. SV3 important for the day. most important step for the day is SV3, because there is some sub steps that you will understand. I'll not write the sub steps, but I'll apply them step by step. In exam also you have to apply them. And once you have done it in one or two questions, you'll be finding it very easy. SV3, SM3, M3 and later on L4, they're all similar. They are mix related steps. They're not difficult once you have done it few times. SV3, standard value of actual sales quantity if it were in standard proportion. So what I have to do? I have to first find total actual sale quantity. Here it is 600 plus 750, 1350 units. Then I have to find budgeted sale mix ratio, which is 500 ratio 800. I can call it 5 ratio 8. What I get? Standard mix quantity of each product, A and B. 1350 into 5 by 13. We can avoid approximation because it's a theoretical calculation. We are not going to actually sell it. So fraction may be considered, not approximated. I am not approximating the fractions that I am getting. 1350 divided by 13 into 5. I am getting is 519.23 dash dash dash, and 1350 into 8 by 13. I am getting is 830.7692 dash dash dash. Multiply with standard price. What is standard price? 6 and 5. Whatever rupees I get, total of that is SV3. This into 5. 4153.85. Now here paisa should be approximated. I don't go beyond paisa. So this was 1350 into 5 by 13. I got 519 point something multiplied by 6. 3115.38 plus 4153.85. I got 7269.23. This is what I am getting. 7269.23. Last step, SV4. Budgeted sales value. How to compute? Budgeted quantity multiplied by standard selling price per unit for A and B. This is 500, this is 800, this is 6 and 5. 3000, 4000. Total is 7000. They're all the steps. Last part of the equation, I am computing the variances. You can leave the variances in table also. In table also, that is perfectly correct. Nobody can deduct any marks. Total sales value variance. This is SV1 minus SV4 is equal to, SV1 we computed 8400 minus 7000. what I am getting, 1400 favorable. In bracket, favorable or adverse or unfavorable must be written, because without that variance analysis is useless. I go to my MD, I tell him our budgeted profit was 1 crore and our variance is 90 lakh. Now, if I tell him the variance is 90 lakh favorable, he will jump with joy. If I tell him against 1 crore busted profit, there is negative variance of 90 lakh, he will jump off a building. So, there is lot of difference whether it is favorable or adverse. Must write in bracket, is it favorable, is it adverse? Only then it is meaningful study of variances. Now, under this, sales value, price variance. This is SV1 minus SV2. Which is SV1 8400 and 7350. So, what I am getting is 1050 favorable. Here I am getting sale value volume variance. Sales volume variance SV2 minus SV4. This is 7350 minus 7000. This is 350 favorable. Under this, sales value mix variance SV2 minus SV3, 7350 minus 7269.23, I am getting is 80.77, still favorable. Last variance, sale value quantity variance SV3 minus SV4, 7269.23 minus 7000. This is 269.23 favorable. So, I am getting all positive variances. These are shown by this variance analysis table. Now, getting further controllable, uncontrollable, that is a job of top management. We can't do in this practical question because details are not known. So, I am getting all variances favorable and adverse. In next session, we will be talking about more questions on sale value variances and also reach sale margin variances category.